The Young Graduates is a 1971 teen melodrama about the sexual awakening of a girl in her last year of high school, and it's rated PG. How transgressive can this be? Directed by Robert Anderson, The Young Graduates stars Patricia Wymer, Stewart, Gary Rist, and Bruno Kirby. In an affluent suburban high school, Mindy's about to turn 18 years old, and this child is ready to put away childish things. While everybody else, including her boyfriend, are satisfied with high school shenanigans, Mindy's ready to experience more. For her birthday, she wants Mr. Thompson, a high school teacher in an unhappy marriage with one of the gym teachers, also feels disenchanted with his lot in life. He begins an affair with Mindy. She has a pregnancy scare, and during the 2-day wait on the test results, she borrows her boyfriend's dune buggy and starts out for the California coast. She runs into hippies, bikers, even a drug cult. Will she make it back in time for graduation? Will she figure out what her heart wants? Young Graduates continued Crown International's trend of successful, soapy sex tales featuring older men obsessing over younger women. Crown had done very well in the summer of '69 when they cast Patricia Wymer as the babysitter. The following year, its director and male lead reunited for Weekend with the Babysitter, a new story in the same vein. It also sold plenty of tickets. But while those cautionary tales were squarely aimed for adult fantasies and carried adult movie ratings, Young Graduates was rated PG and was marketed more directly to the youth audience. Mindy is presented as a liberated young woman, and in this story, that means that she can initiate consequence-free sexual encounters whenever she wants. That might be enough for a movie that wasn't so much meant to be sat in front of and enjoyed as much as to help set the mood for action in the back seats. But as for watching the movie, well, folks looking for sleaze are going to be mightily disappointed. There's some skinny dipping around minute 24. Minute 41 takes a peek in the girls' locker room, but the movie is really chaste compared to its predecessors. Leave it to the bikers that show up around minute 61 to get things dirty. In their first 10 minutes, they start a bar fight, beat Mindy's queer friend to a pulp, and try to dose and rape Mindy and her best friend in the woods. Otherwise, most of the scandalous content is more talked about than seen. And this is no cautionary tale, although the acting and dialogue often hits that level.
Well, it is my life now, isn't it?
All right, it's your life.
The story pivots away from any moralizing cliches, but they don't replace it with anything else, so the plot loses its weight and drama. At least Wymer brings enough charisma to elevate the role of Mindy, but Mindy's not exactly a feminist paragon. Mindy's got a sunny disposition, but she's also entitled, self-centered, and considerate of the people around her, even endangering their lives. And there are no repercussions for it. Nothing seems to change her. Depending on your pop culture diet, she may either remind you of Daisy Buchanan or Zach Morris. Young Graduate cinematography chores were handled by J. Barry Heron and future Oscar winner John Tull. And while this movie may seem miles away from Braveheart or The Thin Red Line, there's some good and occasionally ambitious shots in here. There's this medium one-shot around minute 31 in the sex ed classroom that zooms out from the teacher's face to this long pan that circles the disconnected students in their own chaotic world. It's just 30 seconds long, but it makes the classroom feel like a battlefield. There are little touches like this throughout the film. Young Graduates will be Patricia Wymer's last credited movie appearance. According to research, she was 23 years old when she played Mindy. She got married the same year Young Graduates was released and essentially retired. She passed away in the early 90s. Young Graduates would meanwhile be the first big screen appearance for Bruno Kirby, playing the hothead in Mindy's circle of friends. By the start of the 80s, he would be a reliable that guy actor, with some particularly memorable roles in a few Billy Crystal movies. Dennis Christopher had a minor role as Mindy's fellow hitchhiker, Pan. The actor would go on to bigger productions in film and TV, including as a member of the Derry Losers Club in the 90s adaptation of Stephen King's It. This film offers a nostalgic portal into the beginning of the Me decade, a time when suburban youth was starting to rummage through the counterculture hand-me-downs and begin to create their own identity. You can hear it in the music. The Spare Change is the name of the band whose 2 concert performances bookend the film. But it's also in the language, the clothes, the vehicles. So if that early 70s vibe is what you're looking for, Young Graduates offers that. But this movie might actually be a great subject for a film studies essay. It's an obscure film that your teacher probably hasn't seen and probably won't sit all the way through, and there's plenty of think piece fodder to chew on. Consider, at first glance, Young Graduates looks like one of those Lolita fantasy flicks, but unlike those stories, this isn't from the guy's point of view, it's the girl's. The story was written by the film's producers, Robert and Terry Anderson. Were they genuinely trying to offer a peek into the female psyche, or just sell an old guy's fantasy of it? Or could it be coded for another perspective? Years later, Terry Tez Anderson would come out of the closet and become an activist for gay rights, as well as a longtime partner and muse for novelist Armistead Maupin, author of the Tales of the City series. Could The Young Graduates be an exploration of the subliminal impact that the messages of the free love era were having in the heart of America at the time? See, you could get a couple of pages out of that. Watching this film might be a small price to pay for an easy A.